If you're a Spurs fan, an NBA fan, maybe a little alarming if you're a Suns fan. I don't know where you stand on that, but Victor Wembanyama goes for 20 in the first half, another 18 after halftime. His 38 points is eclipsed among Spurs rookies only by David Robinson in franchise history in terms of single game scoring. He goes 15 of 26 for 38
he
points.
He may have won the rookie of the year.
10 boards.
It might be over.
It's his fifth NBA game, right? Maybe more impressive to me, after the Spurs led this game by 27, the Suns chipped away. We're sitting here like a lot of you at home thinking, okay, Phoenix is coming back. Devin Booker's going nuts. They're probably going to win this game. They come all the way back to tie it at 116. Never led, though, because the Spurs finish on a 16-5 run to close it out.
Yeah, impressive. And you were talking about this pregame, about how good he's been in the fourth quarter. And he was really good in the fourth quarter again. I mean, he hit some huge shots for them, came up with some big-time rebounds, just an incredible talent. And as impressive as this win was for him and the Spurs, to me, this is more about the issues with the Suns. And we're Channing and I just looking at it. They only got up 79 shots in this game.
Not very many.
San Antonio took 98.
Yeah.
San Antonio only had 8 turnovers.
Yeah.
So there's some real concern from a defensive standpoint. And where else, even when you get Bradley Beal, you've got to have better basketball play from the supporting cast. It's not about just scoring, but you got to have guys that are really good in the roles you need to be filled if you really want to be a contender.
If the pace that they play at is not conducive when you have 3 30-point scores, right? They have to push the ball, but you also have to get stops, right? It's the lineups that they were playing, you could tell they're missing length. And we talked about this before. They're missing, there's not a lot of them, but this is why they are valued. Somebody who's 6'11", 7 foot, defensive-minded, who says, we can switch 1 through 5. I have length. I can protect the rim, and I can also make the guard work. The Spurs were back-cutting the Suns, extra effort. They were not – no one on the Spurs, including Wembanyama, is a one-on-one guy. None of them. So they win by playing better team basketball. And tonight they were just chopping the Suns up. They picked who they wanted to go to. They're running – I was laughing with you. They're running Dallas Mavericks plays that they used to run with Dirk in crunch time for a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? They're running backdoor cuts on a timeout, which is an easy bump and switch, right? If you're a small guy, it's a bump and rotate out. I remember this from 5 years ago. But the communication is not there. So I'm not saying we're 5 games in. And obviously I'm pretty hyped up because watching that kid play and watching this is interesting. But this film should be a big wake-up call for the Suns that people are gunning for them. But they also need to get with pressure and a sense of urgency, their chemistry right on the court. There's a lot of new guys. They need to figure out what their lineups are and what they're missing because I think they have the talent. They just don't play fast enough, and I don't think they're connected enough right now.
You know, as impressive as everything that he did tonight was for Victor Wembanyama, what stands out for me is the way he accepted the responsibility of buckets late in the game when the Spurs are being challenged by the Suns, like he's a veteran, like he's Kevin Durant on the other side. I mean, he was looking for his shot. He's taking big shots, making big shots, like he's done it a million times before.
And that's a great point. And, again, I think that does speak to the fact that he's played professional basketball. Yeah, obviously, this is a different level. But there is a comfort and a familiarity when you're used to the physicality. And he also knows who he is, right? Like, you didn't have to change the rule with that one.
His conditioning is also, because you saw him run the court like that in the first half. You saw him run like that in the second half. He's being physical, offensive rebounds, moving his feet, communicating. We're 5 games into a season, and he's already being asked to do all this on both ends, and he's not, you don't really see him with his hands on his knees. He's still locked in mentally. So his preparedness, you got to give a lot of credit to the Spurs for putting him in all those situations early and conditioning him so they can make these plays. Conditioning's not a factor for him, especially for somebody that's that lanky. Usually you're like, man, you're getting bodied up. That's what we thought. Yeah. But they bodied him up today, and he said, no, I'm used to this, homie.
Yeah, and it's hard to body him because he's not just running to the block.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
And
He's
because you're going to have to put someone with size on him, And when the further you get away from the basket, the less physical you can be. And so when you're putting a 6'10", 6'11" guy on him, and he's 25 feet from the basket, and he's putting you in a pick and roll,
that ain't it.
It's really hard. And it also inverts your defense, meaning now your bigs are 30 feet from the basket, so you have no rim protection, and they're going to be cutting.
Right.
And so you can't load to them. And give Pop a lot of credit for this offense and how they're able to utilize him, because his skill set is such that, man, he can play in all the scoring spots on the floor. Very few guys in our league can do that right now.
Yeah.
And he's doing it at 19.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. Everything about him, the way he moves, his skill level. I don't know, if you weren't watching this game, if you haven't seen him play yet, Victor Wembanyama is taking technical free throws for the San Antonio Spurs as a rookie at 7'4".
Unreal.
Man, listen.
Just haven't seen anything like it.
The alien.
All right, more to come here on Game Time, including the rest of the highlights. From Spurs lead the Suns by 20 at the break. Wow. The American Express halftime report here.
Are you not impressed?
Greg Anthony,
Are you
Matt
not
Miner.
impressed?
How can you not be impressed? How can you not be impressed by the Spurs generally tonight, and Victor Wembanyama in particular? I don't know where you guys want to start with this. Spurs came out on fire. They took it right to Phoenix. The Suns, frankly, didn't look like they had a lot of life early in this game, and quickly were behind, 13-0 to start the game, and have been playing catch-up ever since.
Yeah, and, we talked about this. The thing that's wonderful about the Spurs, I mean, obviously we're going to get into Wembanyama, but they play winning basketball. They don't have a ton of experience, but they know how to play. Like, they have great ball movement. The spacing's always good. They don't beat themselves oftentimes. And so if you don't come out prepared and ready to go, they're going to create problems for you. And tonight they shot the ball extremely well. And listen, Wembanyama's been the best player on the floor. And I think Devin Vassell, you better keep a body on him. That's really the only thing you're going to be able to do to have an impact. His ability to impact all phases of the game, really, I don't think I've ever seen anybody of that size with those kinds of abilities.
And think about this. That lob was out of a timeout.
Yeah.
That is now on tape for everyone to worry about for the rest of the season and possibly his career, right? You got to think about that after every timeout now.
Yeah, but the problem is he's a proficient three-point shooter.
Yeah.
So, you have to play him. And most of the time they say go over the top and switch. But if you do that with a guard, you're switching somebody who's 6'4" and somebody who's on 7'4". And you saw he just shot. He just shoots over everyone. It makes a lot of sense. He doesn't want the turnover.
We talk about that all the time. Remember how we used to talk about Kevin Durant can't see you because of his height and his ability to extend. Well, add another 6-7 inches.
Yeah, he took a jump shot over Eric Gordon.
I mean,
a little baseline jump shot.
He does not see you.
No idea
he
that
shoots
Gordon was
down.
there.
No, it's crazy.
It's
and
unreal.
if you notice, he's scoring in transition. He's scoring on post-ups. Somebody said, man, I wish Pop would run him a play. I'm like, no. You don't have to, because his skill set is so accelerated from where it is for most rookies that they can play him at the 5, they can play him at the 4. They put him in a drop in the ice. They had him guarding KD for a second. They had him guarding Okage. They had him guarding everyone. He's calling out the right things beforehand and playing center field. Yeah. And if you notice, people have a lot of layups. There'd be tough layups, but people had layups and they kicked it out. So you're noticing the Suns aren't getting a third of the points that they should, because they're going in there trying to get layups, and if they see the big monster, they're kicking it back out. So I'm just impressed. I've never seen a person who moves like that, who's that smart and mobile and willing to play each part of the game.
And you know why you haven't seen it, because they haven't existed prior to this year.
Not existed. No. Doing a lot of things right. It's not just Wembanyama. 23 assists on the 29 made buckets so far for San Antonio, but this kid is a different animal.
Phần hạt này mình cắt thành viên đi, hoặc là cắt thành giải tùy mọi người, nhưng mà mình thì sẽ trang trí thành viên, thì mọi người có thể tham khảo cái cách trang trí của mình nhá. Đây, cái cách của mình là cách gợi ý thôi, còn mọi người có thể làm theo hoặc là biến đổi như thế nào tùy ý nhé. Liên kết giữa những cái hạt này nó chỉ là sợi chỉ thôi, nên là mọi người cắt ra rất là dễ dàng. Mình cắt ra. Rồi, mình sẽ dán lên nhé. Mình dán keo vào mặt sau này, nó sẽ có hai mặt, thì một mặt nó lấp lánh hơn này, và một mặt nó là cái màu chí chí. Mọi người dán keo vào cho mình, xong rồi áp vào. người sẽ dán vào chính giữa này cho mình nhá. Dán vào chính giữa này. Bây giờ mình sẽ dán cái phần trang trí này. Mọi người thấy cái ở giữa của nó đang có một cái khoảng trống này. Thường thì mọi người sẽ là dùng cái hạt đá mọi người đính lên. Ở đây thì mình dùng hạt nhũ luôn cũng được, tại vì hạt nhũ cũng rất là đẹp nhá. Đây hạt nhũ, mình đính hạt nhũ lên. Mình sẽ cho một chút keo vào chính giữa này. Mình áp hạt nhũ này lên. Ở đây mình chuẩn bị rất là nhiều màu sắc, thì mọi người thích màu sắc nào mọi người đính màu sắc đấy nhá. Mình áp vào này. Đây mọi người nhìn, cái hạt này của mình nó đẹp hơn rất là nhiều rồi đúng không? Đấy, có cái hạt nhũ vào, rất là xinh rồi. Thì mọi người có thể là mua hạt đá mọi người đính lên, hoặc là sử dụng hạt nhũ giống mình. Tại vì là mình trang trí mình dùng hạt nhũ nên mình tận dụng nó luôn, mình dán luôn. Bây giờ mình sẽ đính những cái hạt còn lại xung quanh cái này. Mình dùng rất là nhiều màu sắc nhá. Đây, nhiều màu lắm. Mình đính nhiều màu này lên cho mình. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ đính trên dưới và trái phải trước nhá. Trên dưới trái phải. Đính thì mọi người làm nào cho nó khoảng cách nó chia nó đều nhau một chút nhá. Chia đều khoảng cách thì nó sẽ đẹp hơn. Còn nếu mà không thì cái này là tùy mọi người, cái cách trang trí mỗi người nó sẽ khác nhau ấy. Thì cách của mình gợi ý mọi người có thể làm theo hoặc là không, thì tùy ý mọi người nhé. Rồi mình tiếp tục mình đính keo vào. Đấy, mình đính hai bên nhé. Rồi, rất là xinh rồi. Giờ mình sẽ đính tỏa nó ra, tỏa đều những hạt nhũ này ra tiếp này. Đây, mình tiếp tục mình đính. Khi đính mọi người cứ làm cách nào để cho cái khoảng cách nó đều nhau một tí là được nhá. Đây, cứ đính tỏa ra này cho đẹp này. Mình đính lần lượt nhé. Đính lần lượt cho đến hết. Rồi mình tiếp tục mình đính vào. Mình cũng cho keo vào mặt sau và mình dán cái phần suốt này lên. Đây, rất là xinh rồi. Giờ mình tiếp tục mình đính thêm một vài hạt nữa xung quanh cho nó tỏa đều ra nữa nhé. Để mình tiếp tục mình đính hạt vào. Mình cho keo vào mặt sau và mình áp vào. Mọi người sẽ lựa chọn những màu sắc tùy ý. Dính vào các vị trí nó giãn cách đều nhau là đẹp nhé. Rồi, mình sắp hoàn thành rồi đấy. Rất là nhanh thôi thì mình sẽ xong. Rồi mình còn một hạt nữa nhé mọi người. Đây. Khi mà dán ấy thì mọi người sẽ lựa chọn những cái hạt màu nó khác biệt nhau nhé. Chứ mọi người đừng dán là những màu giống nhau ở cạnh nhau nhìn nó không được đẹp đâu. Khi dán mọi người cứ chọn màu khác biệt cho mình. Rồi cái phần dư này mình sẽ không dùng đến nhé. Tại vì cái hạt này nó rất là nhiều, mình không dùng hết được. Mọi người đập một chút này. Sau đó mọi người giật những cái phần keo dư với nhũ dư ra. Mình đập như thế để cho keo với nhũ dư nó long đấy. Như vậy thì mình dễ làm, dễ giật ra ấy. Đây. Mình sẽ dán trang trí theo cái hình thoi nhé mọi người. Đấy, dán đều theo hình thoi này rất là xinh như này. Đấy, mọi người có thể tham khảo cách làm của mình để làm nhé. Mọi người thấy không? Phối những cái màu sắc này, những cái màu rất là đẹp, nhiều màu sắc. Đấy. Thì đây là cách mình gợi ý mọi người làm một cái túi giấy đựng kẹo để làm quà tặng. Mọi người có thể tham khảo cách làm của mình để tạo ra những chiếc túi thật là xinh xắn giống như này nhé. Chúc các bạn thành công nhé. Và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở những video tiếp theo.